What is good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. The movie I'm reviewing today is currently available for streaming on HBOMAX and is also in theaters. There will not be spoilers in this video, as this is not too many spoilers in there because this is part one of a two-part overall story. Dune is directed by Denis Villeneuve and stars Timothee, Chalamet, and Rebecca Ferguson. It is an epic sci-fi war story based on the novel Dune. I've never read this book, and I've only seen the original movie a couple of times, so I went into this relatively cold. The movie takes place in the far, far distant future, primarily on the planet of Arrakis, which contains the natural resource spice, which is the most valuable resource in the universe because of its ability for expansion, for travel. So those willing and wanting to expand and to colonize, there's a lot of profit to be involved. Now there's different houses or royal families, so to speak, in the universe. The two that we're focused on are Harkonnen, who are initially on Arrakis and get booted off by the Emperor because they're just pillaging the land. And then the House of Atreides, who has come in to go to Arrakis to bring peace and to bring balance, because the planet can't be left unsaid or else there's going to be chaos because of this natural resource. Now our main character in this movie is Paul, who is son of the Lord of Atreides, and most importantly, I think, while his father has an important bloodline, his mother is where he gets his most important skills and abilities. She is from a spiritual group of women called Ben Gesserit. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I apologize if I got that wrong. But his mother is basically very highly spiritually aware. She's very tapped in to the spiritual world. So he has access, being son of basically the king of this planet. He has access to soldiers, so he learns how to fight. His dad was a pilot. He learns how to fly. He uses his resources to educate himself, and he uses those resources primarily to educate himself on the Freeman people, which are the people of Arrakis. Now, naturally, these people never decided to leave their land. Why? Because they're using the spices for spiritual development. And Paul has that spiritual tapped inness from his mother's bloodline. He is a well-balanced, almost perfect type of character, even though he is put to the test in this movie. Now, he uses his resources to educate himself on the Freeman because he has dreams. That's where I got really drawn in. I'm very tapped into my dreams, and I do believe there's some kind of truth. There's something being said in my dreams, even though we can't translate them. And that's a lot of what this movie's about. So he educates himself on this Freeman people because he knows his family is headed there. His family settles there. And naturally, the Harkonnen people, who are colonizers and they're bitter and evil, they decide to start a war with the House of Atreides while they are in Arrakis. Now, one big character in this movie that is there the whole time is the desert, the dune. It's always there. It's like the Overlook in The Shining. It's not a speaking character, but its presence is known. It is basically Mother Nature in action. You can bring all your weapons, you can bring all your machinery, try to harvest this spice. You're gonna get hit up eventually by Mother Nature in this desert. The desert, and it's shot beautifully. I can't wait to watch it in the theater. So after this war breaks out, naturally Paul is a natural target. His mother's a natural target, being they are son and wife to the Lord or the king of this family. Now this is where Paul, all his practice, all his ability, all his information, his fighting skills, this is where it is put to the test and where we see true character development. There's battle scenes in here that are epic. The music in here that are laid over the battle scenes, over all there. It ranges from bagpipes to epic drums, all done perfectly. The movie ends with Paul having a battle scene, more or less to test his manhood and to see where he's ready to go next. What I loved about this movie, it is a spiritual journey. I am someone myself who has been on a spiritual journey my whole life. Nothing like this character, but I'm drawn into anyone who is tapped in spiritually. And I almost want to read the book. Even though I'm not a reader, I almost want to read it because I feel like it's got a lot of spiritual aspect in there. His relationship with his mother. I am an only child who is raised by his mom. So while his dad is there, he gets that, tactical stuff from his dad, but he gets that what's going to benefit him the most, his tapped in with this with nature, his connectedness with the earth. That is what he taps in with the most, and he gets that from his mom. And I really love that relationship with him and his mom. That's what drew me in the most. Now, there are epic battle scenes in here. One thing I really liked is they have this device where anytime there is damage, you see like this red flash. Now, because usually in like action movies, you don't know who's getting hit, but this movie is pretty obvious who's getting hit. It brings, you know, ancient fighting skills with some futuristic stuff, the spaceships, and there's something for everybody in this movie. If you like action movies, you got the battle scenes. I like the coming of age spiritual journey of Paul. If you like a war movie, you got the politics, you got the war stuff in there. There's something for everybody in there. The music is epic, the action is epic. Great acting across the board. We're gonna get into a couple negatives, but absolutely epic. I saw this on HBOMAX. Now, anybody who watches my channel knows I love the cinema. I prefer to go to cinema, so I was a little bit apprehensive. I'm glad I did, because as someone who's not familiar with the story, I was able to lock in to the story. Because I know if I saw it in the theater, I'd be immersed by the sound, by the landscapes, which is absolutely beautiful. The cinematography, that goes without saying. I mean, it's Denis Villeneuve directed. I didn't expect anything less. I can't wait to see it in the theater and hear that epic sound. But the story is where this movie thrives. I wasn't expecting a deep story, but I got one on a high level. That's where this movie excels. What I didn't like, Josh Brolin, I believe, is in here, and I forget the actor's name, Jason Momoa. I wasn't really thrilled about. I'm gonna go back into some more things I liked in a second, but because I just thought of something else. But too much movie stars in a movie that I need more better actors. Because Timothee Chalamet is blowing everybody off the screen. He has a better character, granted, so he has that advantage as a character, and as an actor he has a better character and is more to do with. He has more stuff to do. He's not as one-dimensional as some of the other characters, but he's blown. He's comes from the artistic school. You can tell he knows about acting. Bautista's in there. You got too many movie stars, too many action stars. I need more actors. I guess because they're in more soldier roles. I guess that's why they're there. That's fair enough. So I kind of just thought about that while I was saying that. But yeah, that's really my only kind of negative. It is a long movie. Guys know I don't really like long movies, but if you do it right, I don't mind. If there's no wasted scenes, there's no extraneous dialogue. This movie doesn't have any of that. And Timothee Chalamet, great actor. I think I saw him before on Lady Bird, was one of the first movies I saw him in. But he's always been a good actor. I'm glad that he's finally getting a spot to shine. He's a high-level actor. This is a movie I absolutely recommend. Now, I'm going to see it in theaters. However, I would recommend seeing this on HBOMAX if you can, because the story, to me, is where its strength is. Obviously, it looks great, but I'm a big character and story guy, old school. And if you have that extra stuff, that is just, you know, icing on a delicious cake. But yeah, check out Dune. I will see y'all guys again tomorrow. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me. I appreciate your time. I will see y'all again soon. Please take care and be well.